I really like Monster Prom. For those unaware, Monster Prom is a video game multiplayer dating sim series set in a world populated by monsters. I've been meaning to make a video on this series for a long time because I'm genuinely obsessed with it. It's so good. The graphics are superb, the rating is tight and hilarious, the gameplay is unique and entertaining, but the thing that makes these games really special is the characters. I love big ensemble casts, and I'm happy to announce that Monster Proms is one of the best I've ever seen. Almost every character is lovable in its own right, sporting a unique personality, great design, and a ton of depth. Following their shenanigans over the course of 4 different games has been a delight. But if there's something I love about these characters, it's their bonds and interactions. The relationships between them are what makes them come truly alive, what makes them feel like actual people instead of just game objectives. There are very simple relationships everyone knows about. Polly and Scott are best friends and have a prank company called Prank Masters. Vera is Valerie's adopted sister, Liam and Joy used to date, etc, etc. But what I find fascinating is when you dig deep and find really weird pairings and implications. So today I'm just gonna talk about some highlights. So without further ado, let's begin. Despite being a dating sim, this is probably gonna be the shortest segment of the video, since there's not that many canon pairings in-game. In one of the game's more well-known couples, Polly and Faith have a very casual relationship, them being friends with benefits more than anything. Arabi, aka the Slayer, has a crush on Zoe, her being one of the students at Spooky Academy she refuses to attack. On the topic of crushes, we have Damien, who had a very short-lived relationship with Hope a few years back, and hasn't gotten over it yet. And on top of that, he had an awkward threesome with Liam and Arabi, of all people. And closing out this section, we have Joy. Now, it is very well known that Joy, as leader of the Coven, Destroyer of Evil, has a tendency to hook up with the bad guy they're fighting, leaving a trail of exes behind. However, what I haven't seen the game address, or anyone in the fandom for that matter, is that this pattern indicates that her and Omen have hooked up, which is weird because the games don't mention this fact at all, even though they share some scenes together. I mean, it makes sense. Omen was a big-ass villain that fought against the Coven, and Joy's tendency to date her nemesis isn't an isolated instance. So even though the game doesn't say so, I choose to believe that they did at one point. This is the part where things start to get just a little bit juicier. Now we're going to start seeing the really weird combinations of characters. Starting with one that's fairly popular but still super funny to me personally is Calculester, Arabi and Hexy's Food Truck. Calculester and Arabi are already 2 personalities that you wouldn't think would mesh well together, but on top of being friends, they own a fucking food truck of all things. You see, it's funny because one doesn't eat organic food, the other only consumes health potions, and the only one who eats is the sentient fart cloud. Speaking of Arabi, she and Valerie seem to have a weird friendship, her being another one of the classmates she doesn't hunt alongside Zoe. Valerie even has a nickname for her, Double A. Cute. Moving on, we have one of my favorite little bits in the entire series. Dahlia and Calculester went to Italy together a few years back. That's it. The two of them don't have an established relationship with each other, they never say why they did it, they just casually mention it in random events and it cracks me up. I cannot explain why it's so funny to me, it just is. Now that we're on the topic of Dahlia, I have to mention the heavy metal band she's in, along with Damien and Joy, Exorcism Placenta Pentagram. Holy moly, what a name. Also, Dahlia seems hellbent on joining the Coven, for some reason, I'm not quite sure. Another weird relationship featured in Monster Camp is Morty and Baba Yaga, for some reason. Everybody knows Dimitri and Morty are best friends, but what they might not know is that Morty thought this witch was her grandma, and even though she wasn't, they still keep in touch. And now that we mentioned Dimitri, it would be a crime not to bring up the fact that he's Liam's son. Their secret ending together is one of the funniest ones in the entire series, and I love it so much. Now I'm gonna spit out a few rapid fire ones before we get to the most obscure one of them all. Polly and Vera are friends, as are Vera and Scott. Doug was one of Zoe's first fans, as well as April's first high school friend. Nico and Liam met through an improv club. The Chill Hill gang are awesome, and if none of them get the spotlight in the next game, I'm committing violence. Zoe and Oz are friends. Brian is friends with Kale and will play football with him every once in a while. And now for the one trio of characters that are so obscure, yet make so much sense together. Give it up for Polly, Milo, and Hope. In one scene during Monster Road Trip, they're seen hanging out together, and then never again, which kinda pisses me off because it's such a good friend group. Not only do their personalities mesh with each other perfectly, but they've got a cool thing going on. One is a ghost, one is a Grim Reaper, and the other one is the girl who has died and been revived about 4 times or so. This shit writes itself, man. I really hope we get to spend more time with this dynamic in the next game. Give them like a sitcom that's called Dead, Dead and Deader that airs every Saturday night. That would be awesome. Beautiful glitch, do that. I will pay you $1 million more billion. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. I don't know, I just mostly use this as an excuse to yap about Monster Prom. I really like the series, I genuinely do. And I always wanted to do a video. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you next time, wherever I upload. Okay, bye!